Hello, everyone. Welcome to Rex Flippers. My name's Dennis, and I am coming to you today with sales for the last week. I had sales on all three platforms: eBay, Mercari, and Whatnot. And one of the things I also want to talk to you about today is Whatnot. I received a warning from Whatnot stating that basically I was advertising my shows on other people's shows without their permission, and also that I was sending too many messages promoting my shows. I had a problem with that. The problem with that is they're violating my freedom of speech. Yes, they are a private entity, and they can regulate some of the things on their platform. But if I'm not allowed to send messages to advertise my programs, then how am I supposed to make any money? How am I supposed to be able to let people know that I've got a show out there? And as far as going on to people's shows and mentioning my shows on their forums, I normally ask first, may I mention my shows on your platform? And if they say no, then I said, no, get off my back. If they say yes, then I go ahead and put my shows out there. I don't do any of them without permission. I did that once, and because everybody else was doing it on this one platform, and everybody was putting in their shows, I said, well, I guess it's okay. So instead I didn't ask, so I went ahead and put mine out there, and immediately got blocked by that person. So from that point on, I always asked, no matter how many people were advertising their shows, I always asked first before I would mention my shows. So that was the problem I had with Whatnot. They gave me a warning, and I voiced my opinion. I went on my show, my last show I did. I voiced my opinion during the show, and let people know how I felt about the way things were handled. And I started to call out the person who actually filed the complaint, but I decided not to. But I have blocked that person, and they are not going to be able to access any of my merchandise anymore. Thought this person was a nice person, but come to find out, I guess they're not as nice as what they appeared to be. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get started. I have been doing some Whatnot auctions, and I cannot get pictures from all of my sales on Whatnot, but I will go ahead and go over what I've sold. This is just for the last week since the 23rd, and the first item I sold was a lot of 3 Emmett Kelly clowns. These clowns sold for $8.50, and they're went to Clifton Forge, Virginia. The next item I sold was a lot of 3 James Bond 007 VHS movies. Now, these 3 movies included Sean Connery, the first 007, Roger Moore, the second 007, and Pierce Brosnan, the third 007. Those sold for $5, and they went to Tulsa, Oklahoma. Next item I sold was an Arcadia Trail Dog Fleece Line Coat. That was buyer paid $10 for that, and along with that, they also purchased a Jaguars Christmas ornament for $3, and they got a Godzilla VHS pack. It's a twin pack for $1, and that all went to Tacoma, Washington. Howard Flippix out in Tacoma, Washington bought those from me. Next item is the Squirrels Salt and Pepper Shakers. Sold those for $5, going to Badger, Iowa. Then I sold 2 acrylic deer that were covered with covered with snow. Sold those for $6, and those went to Humboldt, Kansas. And then I had somebody come in and ask about Budweiser products, so I pulled out a sign I had, Budweiser sign, and sold it for $10, and that went to Atascadero, California. And then I had a dog-shaped candle holder. It's a votive tea light candle holder, cut glass, $3, and that went to Eau Claire, Michigan. Then we went to our next show. I sold a copper pitcher, and this copper pitcher sold for $5, and that went to Charlotte Hall, Maryland. Then I had a Pembroke vase. I sold for $1. And also along with that, I had a blown glass horse. Beautiful design in it. Sold that for $2. And those went to Barnesville, Ohio. Then my next show, I had basket weave ornaments. These sold for $8. And those went to Cleves, Ohio. Then I had a lot of 8 6-ounce white glass tumblers. Sold those for $10. And along with that, they also purchased Anchor Hocking Fire King white milk glass bubble bowl for $7. A ceramic Santa Claus statue, 12 inches tall, for $8. And an Anchor Hocking milk glass creamer pitcher for $12. And that all went to Winchendon, Massachusetts. So you see, I did do pretty good on Whatnot this last week. Got quite a few sales. And then I'm going to be trying it out some more, but I'm not going to be pulling everything out like I normally do. I just go pull stuff off the shelf and do it one at a time. It's too much work trying to get set up to do the auctions like that. So now we're going to go to Macari. And Macari, we sold Theodore, number 5, Alvin and Chipmunk's Shipwreck. This is a Happy Meals, McDonald's Happy Meal toy. Sold it for $5 and went to Huntsville, Texas. And the next item I sold was a Squishmallow Kelly toy, plush Vicky the Fox 12-inch backpack. And that sold for $12, going to Portland, Oregon. So that's it for Macari. My sales are down on Macari, and got to do something, try to pick them up. I've been sending out offers and stuff, but don't know what's going on with there. That's one of the things I'm going to be looking into here, trying to do some improvements on. All right, now we're going to go to eBay. This is one item I forgot to mention on the last show, and I'll go ahead and mention it this time. It's a vintage 1994 Adore Bear Hedgehogs Lazy Day at Frog Pond, number 13106. And that sold for $8. Buyers all in at $12.44. And that went to Portland, Oregon. So let me come on down here and get started with the next bunch. And first item I have there is vintage melamine beige saucers and bowls. the 3-piece setting for 10, 30 pieces total. These sold for $10. The buyer was all in at $20.52, and those were going to Pensacola, Florida. Then we sold a lot of 2 heavy metal angel gold stocking holders with stocking hooks. These sold for $16. Buyers all in at $29.69, and those went to Morrisville, Pennsylvania. Then we had a vintage Peanuts Christmas lighted musical television, Snoopy and Charlie Brown. Buyer paid $42.99, all in at $53.99, and that went to Raleigh, North Carolina. Then we had an older set of 6 acrylic crystal Christmas ornaments, ballerinas, harps, and this was boxed. And we sold that for $8. Buyers all in at $8.75, and that went to Marysville, Washington. That was a repeat buyer from Marysville, Washington. Then we had a vintage Tupperware ham keeper flavor saver with lid and lifter. These sold for $12.49. Buyers all in at $22.59. And that was going to Mars, Pennsylvania. Then we had 2 vintage Pixie Elf knee hugger Japan ornaments and 1 felt covered Santa. And these sold for $24.49. Buyers all in at $31.27. And those went to Yigo, Guam. Yigo, Guam. Next item I sold was a U.S. Navy Christmas stocking. And this item sold for $15. Buyers all in at $22.65. And that went to Millbury, Ohio. Then we had an Orbrium train and train cars with wood tracks, cars, houses, stores, the whole works. Got everything with it, more than over 100 pieces in this item. And it sold for $27. Buyers in at $43.23. And that went to Columbus, Ohio. And then we had a vintage Vasco Arctic Air fan for parts or repair. It's a table fan, Art Deco. Sold for $14.99. Buyers all in at $40.28. And that went to Little Rock, Arkansas. Then I sold an Interstate Leather Chaps men's size 2XL black leather motorcycle chaps, vintage USA. These sold for $36. Buyers all in at $49.09, and those went to Selma, Texas. Then I had a Mickey Mouse classic pose character poster. It's 36 by 24. This sold for $11. Buyers all in at $21.64, and that went to Brooklyn, New York. Then I had a vintage Libby Art glass pink vase, concave pattern, 10 by 4 from top to bottom, and this sold for $5. Buyers all in at $15.47. That went to Washington, D.C. And then we had a Support Our Troops license plate. This item sold for $9.50. Buyers all in at $15.94. That went to Portsmouth, New Hampshire. And y'all have heard me mention about my Simply Pink sweatpants. Well, I finally sold a pair of Simply Pink authentic sweatpants with the varsity logo, new with tags. These were a size small, blue, and sold them for $5. Buyers all in at $11.75, and those went to Odessa, Florida. Then I had a weatherproof adjustable brown suede trucker hat. It was water repellent, soft, and light. Buyer paid $10.70, all in at $14.66, and that's going to Lexington, North Carolina. Then I sold a Beaver Creek hat by Zephyr, excellent pre-owned condition. Sold this hat for $10.50. Buyers all in at $14.45, and that's going to Panama City, Florida. Then I had a vintage Alpha plastic audio cassette holder storage case that holds up to 15 tapes. Sold it for $5. Buyers all in $11.72, and that's going to Portland, Maine. And the final item is a unique item that we have. Indianapolis Clowns trucker hat. This is from the Negro League baseball that they used to have. And this is from the Negro League Baseball Museum. It is an embroidered hat. It sold for $17.50. Buyer was all in at $24.95. And going to Albia, Iowa. So that's what, as you can tell, I had a pretty good week with eBay. Had a good week with Whatnot. Need to get my car going up again. So, try to get it, get some more sales coming in there. And don't forget about my We the People. I am taking a break from We the People right now until the first of the year. But I will be starting back with President Monroe, and be continuing with the presidents from that point on. And as always, I'm going to ask you to please subscribe to my channel, Direct Flippers. I'm trying to get I'm trying to get it up to 100. I'm at 59 right now. I'd like to hit that 60 mark after this video if possible. And I'm also venturing into the auctions on YouTube and trying to get that going. Working with my nephew up in Alabama, flipping flamingos, trying to get going on that. I have had a couple of shows, but nobody's come into them yet. I've had some friends come in and talk to me, but as far as anybody coming in to buy, I haven't had anybody come in to buy yet. And I'd like to mention some of my friends out there on Whatnot that I have. Got, of course, Hyro Clipchamp out there in Washington State. Got One Thrifty Mom that lives up in South Carolina. Got Ellie. Ellie lives in Iowa. And got Lizzie Faith. Lizzie Faith lives in Arkansas. So that's some of the people. Daddy Launder. I'm not sure where Daddy Launder lives at. But, can talk with him quite a bit. So that's all I have for today. And from my family to yours, I wish you a happy holidays. And be careful out there. There's a lot of idiots out there on the road. And watch out for that other guy, because they may not be watching out for you. So from my family to yours, happy holidays. God bless America. And we'll catch you next time.